I hate to say this, but Sean Payton is one of the best coaches in the league. Look, I despise Sean Payton. He's one of those men in my nightmares as a Panthers fan, so the fact that I'm saying this proves a lot. Sean Payton is saving the Denver Broncos. This man just turned around essentially Nathaniel Hackett's team in 2 seasons. The Broncos went 5-12 before Payton arrived, and even in year 1, it didn't look great. You see, Payton had essentially retired from the NFL, choosing to become an analyst over at Fox Sports. He had to be traded for by the Broncos, giving the Saints a first and second round draft pick. In Sean Payton's first season, many, including myself, saw this as a disappointment. Denver went 8-9. He downright screwed Russell Wilson, and I was ready to be out on Sean Payton. I even said things behind closed doors like, oh yeah, Sean Payton, he's done. The game has passed him by, and I'm okay with that. But Payton knew exactly what he was doing. Every move he made, including benching Russell Wilson, was extremely and meticulously strategized. His plan was never to save Russell Wilson's career. It was never to have Wilson be the franchise guy. It's the reason he and GM George Payton were willing to eat most of his contract to get him to Pittsburgh. Sean Payton wanted to start fresh under center, a guy he could handcraft, just like he did in New Orleans with Drew Brees. Of course, we all know the story. The Broncos take Bo Nix 12th, and I'm not gonna lie, I had some major questions surrounding this pick. I didn't see Bo Nix as an NFL-ready quarterback. I didn't see him as a guy who'd come in and start and turn the Broncos around in 1 season. The team was solid. I mean, it did kind of feel like they were a quarterback away, but I wasn't sure that Nix was the right guy. I didn't like his heavy focus on quick little RPOs with very little shots downfield, and early on, it looked like my concerns were warranted as Nix had the Broncos at 0-2 early. And you might say, MacArthur, don't you mean that the Broncos were 0-2? No. Bo Nix sucked. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He sucked. Week 1 against the Seahawks, he was inaccurate, just 26 of 42 for 138 yards and 2 costly picks. One off his back foot, throwing in the end zone, and the second throwing into triple coverage, all but ending a comeback. The defense created opportunities. They created turnovers. They created safeties. They limited Geno Smith. Now they let Kenneth Walker run all over them, but this game comes down to the inexperience and inaccuracy of Bo Nix. Now, did he have his moments? Sure, he completed 26 passes. There were a few nice ones in there, and he had a great rushing touchdown late, but it just wasn't good overall. Week 2, not much better. Again, the Broncos had chances. The defense limited the Steelers to 13 points, but the offense sucked. Just 65 rushing yards. Bo Nix, 2 picks again, 1 in the back of the end zone, and what was prior to the best drive we had seen. People were ready to have Sean Payton hung in Denver. There are comments under highlights of this game saying things like, just here to see Sean Payton lose. But after week 2, the Broncos flipped a switch, winning 3 games in a row, starting with a complete masterclass against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before taking down the Jets and Raiders. At this point, the defense had emerged as one of the best passing defenses in the league, led by Patrick Surtain. Bo Nix was starting to play pretty solid, more like a Brock Purdy game manager type. In week 7 against Payton's former team, the Saints, the Broncos hung 33, dominating on both sides of the football. This was more than a win against your former team. This was a message to the rest of the league that the Broncos were here to make a statement. It's one of the most physical teams in football. Fast forward to the end of the season, and the Broncos finished 10-7, barely squeaking into the postseason for the first time since 2015-2016. Now, everybody loves to praise Bo Nix and the defense for this year, and don't get me wrong, Bo played great. 3,700 yards, 33 total touchdowns, really good numbers for a rookie quarterback that many saw as a future bust, and the defense did its thing all year. But the credit needs to go to Sean Payton. Payton had the defense. He needed to reconstruct this offense and bring that same swagger he brought to New Orleans, and that meant getting rid of guys that were fan favorites, such as Jerry Jeudy and March. Jeudy was too ball dominant. He didn't fit the culture that Sean Payton was trying to build. It's the reason a guy like Courtland Sutton fits so well. He's the definition of a team guy. Sean Payton deserves the credit, and this is coming from a guy who, remember, really doesn't like Payton at all. It'll be interesting to see what the Broncos do this offseason to build alongside Bo Nix.